In December, I booked a surprise trip to Morocco for my fiance, Michael. It was his birthday, and I gave him a little surprise trip as a present to go surfing in Agadir. As we were there, we found this little dog on the beach. She came up to us the first day or the second day. We were just chilling on the beach, and she just came straight up to me and just lay in my lap, just like that. She had the most gorgeous eyes on the planet, and from the first second of seeing her, I was completely smitten in love. I guess that's both the plus side and the downside of being an empath or a very sensitive person, is that you feel so much that very quickly when you encounter such a beautiful creature, you fall in love so deep that you are basically trapped to that connection. Michael was laughing because he said, "Oh, here we go again," because we found our first dog, Arturo, in a little town in Italy. But this was a whole different situation because we're in Morocco, which basically is another continent, and we are flying home in 2 days, and we don't have a car, and we don't have any way to actually even get started on this process. So we left to the hotel. I was like, "Robin, just put it out of your head. You can't rescue every little dog you find," because there was so many other dogs on the beach. The day after, I woke up very early. Michael was still sleeping, and the first thing I did was I went straight to the beach to go look for her. And she was right there. She came straight up to me again, came to cuddle me again. And I was sitting there on the beach, and I was like, fuck, I'm doomed, because I cannot leave this dog here. I cannot take her home either. So what the hell am I gonna do? So we were only there for 3 days, and this was the second day. And so that second day, I was contacting so many shelters. I was trying to reach out to people, vets in the area. No one responded. No one gave me any advice of what to do. And of course, now considering the good thing, but in that moment, the dumb thing I did was I just kept spending time with her. And so I started getting super attached. And by the second day when we went to bed, I started feeling my heart break. So the third day, I was like, I have to find someone to help us. Hey, baby. Speak of the devil. So you can see already that the story ends well. I reached out to so many shelters. None of them responded. And on the final day, there was one shelter that did respond, but they told me that I had to bring her to them. And the moment they responded was like 5 p.m. We didn't have a car. We didn't have any way to get her there. And we had to travel back to Belgium the next day. And at that point, I was like, Robin, just let it go already, because I cannot do this. This is just crazy. And Michael was like, "You're ruining our entire holiday," because all I was doing was crying because I felt so upset of having to leave her. We went home, and the first thing I thought of doing was just booking a flight back to Morocco to go find her and bring her to this shelter, rent a car, I don't know what. Luckily enough, the lady of the shelter that I was in contact with actually said, "No, please don't book a flight again. We'll go find her for you on the beach." So they went all the way to find her on the beach in Agadir. They found her and they messaged me, and I was so happy. So they took her into the shelter, and they agreed that if I would pay a bit of money to support the shelter and the charity work that they were doing, that they would help me adopt her, which I was so happy about at that point. Honestly, I think that day I was just crying tears from joy. Apparently it takes a lot of time for her vaccinations to sink in and all of that. So I had to wait 4 months. So I booked another flight to Morocco a month later to see her and to do volunteer work at the shelter. Basically, the shelter is located in a little town called Temsia, a little bit further away from Agadir. And the owner of the shelter, Michelle, is truly a godsend. She's an angel. She has rescued over 900 dogs, by now probably 1,000, all on her own financial means. She doesn't get any support of the Moroccan government. She does have a charity, and I'm going to put a link in the description to, if anyone is ever willing to donate to the shelter, that this shelter is a organization that 100% of your money will go to the right place, to helping street dogs be rescued off the streets of Morocco and actually try to get them sponsored or adopted. So I went there to do volunteer work for a week, fell in love with tons of other dogs, but spent that whole week also spending some time with Nona to kind of leash train her and spend some time with her. Leaving again that week was so difficult because I felt so bonded with her already. Like I would come into the shelter, she would come straight to me, and I just felt this deep soul connection with her that I also feel with my other dog. Last week, finally, I was able to go get her home. And so she's now with us in Belgium. I'm gonna see if she can say hi again. Nona, come and see. Hey, Manchi, come and see. Come say hello. Come, baby. Come and see. Hi. This is Nona, everyone. My sweetheart. She's grown so much. The last time I saw her, she was just a little pup when we found her on the beach. And now she's a grown girl. She's such a good girl. Baby, yeah. But she's an angel. She's doing so well. But what I wanted to really talk about today, and I know this is a big introduction, so thank you for those who have sticked to listen to the story. I actually wanted to kind of put this whole story in the perspective of why thinking big and allowing yourself to believe that things that other people consider impossible are actually possible is what makes your life go from okay to great. I've kind of always been someone that really thinks that if you really want something, you can go after it and you can get it. Even if you find a dog on the street in Morocco, in Africa, in a different continent, and you want to get them home, there's always a way to get the money, to get the travels, to get the opportunity. There's always people willing to help. And what this whole experience truly has taught me is how much the universe works for you when you're doing something that's in the highest good of all. I used to manifest a lot, or like try to manifest. What that means is that I would try to attract good things to me. And I honestly, throughout the years, have come to realize that the universe already supports you. The universe already has your back, especially if you're trying to do things that are truly in the highest good of all. There was so many things that could have gone wrong. There was so many ways in which she would not have been able to be home here. Like she could have had a bad flight. She could have, something could have been wrong with her paper, with her documents. She could have gotten sick. She was a street dog, so that very often happens. The shelters all could have said no. It could have been so expensive that I wouldn't be able to pay it. Some of my clients actually that I work with, that I told the story, ended up donating money to the shelter to cover Nona's costs and expenses for the travel, because it was quite a big sum of money in the end. And just this whole experience has taught me that everything is always possible. If you truly want something in life, even if right now it sounds crazy or it seems crazy, there is always a way of figuring it out, especially if it's backed by an energy of love and something that is genuine and authentic in who you are. I am so grateful for the shelter. I'm so grateful for God. I prayed so many times to just visualize and ask the universe to make something happen, like to please make her get home safe on the flight, to please have the shelter find her on that beach. I've always had good faith in humanity and I've always had good faith in life, but this honestly amplified my faith even more. And now I'm here at home with two beautiful dogs. They're both sleeping now, I think. And the moral of this story is, don't be afraid to go after what you want if it's backed by love. You will get the support. You will find a way. The whole purpose of this channel is going from okay to great and to really being happy, is sometimes being bold enough to go outside of the box and to try something that you really want that no one else would ever be brave enough to do. like adopt a dog or start a business or start a new sport that you feel like you could be really good at, or start an Instagram account to share your passion. Or so often we are so limited by what if thinking, like what if it goes wrong, what if it doesn't go well. And if we listen to that what if thinking, we end up missing the most beautiful things in life, because the most beautiful things in life, the greatest things in life, are not the things that come the easiest. They're the things that sometimes we have to work for, and sometimes we have to find creative ways of approaching. And if I would have been stopped by what if thinking, like what if she doesn't match with my dog? What if she does have a traumatic heart attack on the plane? What if she, what if we can't handle a second dog? All of those thoughts would have, if I would have listened to those, I would have missed out on the opportunity of having two beautiful dogs that I love so much. Maybe people that are not dog people are listening to this and thinking, what the hell did you do for a dog? But honestly, I'd do it again. And I might one day if we have a bigger house. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. I know this wasn't really the typical happiness experiment video, but the experiment part of this was experimenting with being bold and brave enough to go after something you want. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.